Hi and welcome back to the third video in the series of Heal, Grow and Thrive with me, Deborah Craig. So I hope you're really enjoying the videos so far. We've already looked at fight or flight and rest and digest with the central nervous system and a bit more about anxiety and stress as a whole. We've also looked at reframing some of those unhelpful ways of thinking about situations that you might have had in the past and looking for a new way to see them so that you see life through a fresh set of eyes and see the possibilities. So what we're talking about this week is relating to the language that we use. And the reason that this is so important is because we consistently will build upon our thought processes and the way that we feel by the language that we use. So let's take an example of a time, you can think of one yourself, of a time where you're getting ready, you're feeling flustered, you're already a bit stressed out and you are on your way to work and you can't get a parking space. Something like that. And you get into work and you're pretty flustered and anxious. What is the dialogue that you're having with yourself at that time? Because I'm pretty sure it goes along the lines of, I'm such an idiot, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I didn't leave myself enough time. All of these things which to a certain extent you may not even be responsible for, because if you've left at the same time as you always leave and you know that there's more than enough time, but there was a traffic jam because of an accident on the road, how on earth could you predict something like that? There is no way for you to know. So having this really negative dialogue with yourself actually compounds how you feel with your stress and anxiety. So just think for a moment right now about a way that you have, or an experience you've had perhaps recently, where you have had something to do or somewhere to go and you have had something go wrong, and think about the dialogue that you have with yourself. How unpleasant are you speaking to yourself? How critical are you being of yourself and actually sometimes of other people? And a classic example of that is road rage. And it's something that I used to have in the past, something that I used to get really frustrated about. But I changed the way that I dialogue with myself, and I changed the way that I dialogue externally. And by doing this, I was able to then reduce any experiences of negativity that I was having, and it actually made my journeys much more pleasant. Of course, we're human beings. We will still react when sometimes we are triggered by certain things, but it is up to us to do something different when that happens. We are completely in control of our own thoughts and actions, so we are the ones that are responsible to do something different with them. And that includes the language that we use when we speak to others or we speak to ourselves. So the next time that you are feeling stressed or feeling anxious, and you can start to hear yourself say those negative words over and over, perhaps you have got a really busy day and you hear yourself saying things like, it's just going to be a terrible day, it's just going to be an absolute nightmare of a day, I'm never going to get all my work done today and it's going to be the worst day of my life. Actually ask yourself, is this going to be the worst day of your life? What really would constitute the worst day of your life? Because I'm sure there's been some other things in your life that have been way more difficult to handle than a really busy schedule or being late for a meeting. So I want you to think about the way that you dialogue with yourself and the way that you use your language when you are stressed and anxious. And there might be times when you are using the type of language that really compounds the stress and anxiety. Because when you hear yourself saying, this will be such a difficult day, this is going to be such a hard day, well, I can guarantee you that that's what you're putting out to the universe. So you know what? That is very likely what's going to happen. So if you can switch that up like you've did with the reframes in the previous video, and think of more helpful ways that you can actually dialogue with yourself. The next time that you are stressed, the next time that you are anxious and something has not gone quite to plan or has come from the left field and thrown you off, I want you to start thinking about the language that you're using. So instead of "this is the worst thing that could ever happen" or "this is a nightmare," really ask yourself, is this genuinely a nightmare? Is this genuinely the worst thing that could ever happen? And really start to think about how you can put a much more positive spin on your whole entire day. Perhaps you have got some stress or anxiety about an upcoming situation, something that's coming up in the next few days or weeks. And the more the language that you use and the more times you repeat that this is going to be an awful situation, it's going to be a nightmare, it's going to be dreadful, then the more you build up inside you, because remember, your language, your thought, and the words that you're using will create the feeling in your body, which creates the behaviour. So if you want to feel much better and have more positive actions, then you must start with the thoughts and use the right language. So yes, something might be challenging, something might be difficult, and in fact, it may well be really scary, especially if it's something that you haven't did before. But instead of some of your old language, I want you to really think about the different language that you can use that will be much more positive and to set you off on a good day. Think about that and implement that every day, because repetition is the way to make this really embedded at a subconscious level and give you the confidence to be able to handle any situation. You see, you have got great, in fact, phenomenal coping skills, but we get to a place where sometimes we think we can't cope. And that's when the dialogue comes in that we believe that this is going to be the worst day, it's going to be the hardest thing we've ever did, it's going to be so awful. But I want you to really think about how you can start to fully change that language. That's not just about reframing, that's also about your daily dialogue with yourself and others. How you perceive a situation will create your reality, because your reality is simply that. It's what you create for yourself. You can create a whole other set of realities for yourself based on the language you use and the way that you operate. So if you want things to be different, you absolutely can do that through the language that you use when you speak to yourself. So I want you to think about, how do you dialogue with yourself personally? I want you to think about, are you criticising yourself? Do you criticise yourself often for things that you don't do right? Perhaps you can rephrase that, and instead of criticising yourself, just switch it out for something more playful, like you're being silly, or that was something silly that you did. Something more fun and playful than some of the language that I'm pretty sure I know that you use. I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, I'm not any good at anything. Really change that up, and if you've made a mistake or something needs to be done differently, then just call it out as it is. That was silly, but you know what? I'll give it another go. Everything is about trying something new, and this simple change to language is one of the key things that you can do to switch up how you feel and change your behaviours. Because if you think about this, if you're having a dialogue that says, I'm going to have a great day today, I'm going to have an amazing day today, and I know that whatever challenges come my way, I will embrace them with confidence because I am so capable. Imagine setting yourself off on your day like that every day. And I know that sounds as if it seems so straightforward to do, but I know through repetition, because I've done it myself, my clients do it as well, that you will rewire the subconscious mind and you will start to automatically assume and expect a really great day, so that when something does come from the left field, then you can manage it with ease. I hope that makes sense for you, and I really want you to put that into practice. And how I want you to do it is, I'm giving you a tip today that I want you to do two things. The first thing is, when you go to bed each night, I want you to set your intention for the next day. So just about before you're going off to sleep, you can do it silently in your head, or you could say it out loud. Set your intention for the next day. So the language that you use will create the experiences that you have. So for example, going to your bed, you could be saying, tomorrow I'm really excited and looking forward to the day ahead. Or I'm excited to get up in the morning, feeling refreshed, having a great sleep and ready to start my exercise regime, whatever it is that you've got going on. So you can change how you live and experience life through the language that you use. And the second thing that I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about 3 affirmations that you can say each day. Now you can do them in the morning, in the evening, it really doesn't matter, but it would be good to do them in the morning before you set off for your day. 3 things, 3 affirmations about you as a person that you're going to take on board as your identity. And then you will walk and talk and act as that person. You will use the language that that person uses. You will talk like that type of person would speak. So for example, if you say, I am a confident person, how would a confident person act? How would a confident person walk? And how would a confident person talk? And you embody that through the language that you use. Think about another 2 or 3, try for 3 different affirmations, and you can use them every day, the same one. Perhaps you want to use the same ones for a month and then move on to something else when you've really embodied who you are through those affirmations. So I hope you've enjoyed this video for today. I've loved being part of this with you, and please remember, next week it will be your guided meditation or hypnosis recording that will come out to really embed everything we've spoke about in the last 3 weeks. We've covered anxiety and stress and the different ways to help reduce that and create new opportunities and experiences in your life. That is what I aim to do. That is my one mission in life, is to help people feel empowered to realise their full potential. And the way that they can do that is to heal themselves by reducing their anxiety, managing their anxiety, changing the way they speak to themselves and others, and really embracing a new way of being, reframing their way of thinking and believing, and that changes your perception. Create your own reality. If you want to stay tuned for more videos and be notified of the next one coming up, don't forget, click the subscribe button today and the little notification bell so that you get to know straight away as soon as my video has been uploaded, which I make especially for you. Now, I'd love to know in the comments if you would like to know more of certain themes. I'm always open to finding out what it is that you really want that I can bring to you. So please remember, if you want to know about more ways to work with me, or even if you have a question, you can contact me, and the details are in the description box where you'll find all of my appropriate links. So thank you for joining me again for this 3rd video in the series of Heal, Grow and Thrive with Deborah. Thank you.